The Las Vegas Raiders have a very promising 2022 NFL draft class. I honestly think going down the line here, which we'll get into in a second, there could be 3, 4, maybe 5 players, well, most likely 3 to 4 that contribute right away and do find significant action. And I think there might be even 1 or 2 starters down the line in this draft class. I do think, they didn't have a draft pick there. It wasn't until 86, and then they traded back, obviously. But what was it, the Titans or something like that? Anyway, didn't have a draft pick until the third round, and then picked Dylan Parham up at 90, and from there I just think it was just a steamroll into a great positive draft. But here are our expectations for the Las Vegas Raiders 2022 NFL draft class. Here we go. So 30th or third round, 90th overall, the Raiders selected guard Dylan Parham out of Memphis. I do feel like he's going to be a 16-game starter. I don't care if it's at center. I don't care if it's at guard. It doesn't matter. Just get this man on the field, please, please. I think he's got the athleticism and the anchor to be an immediate upgrade at wherever they put him at. Help shore up that offensive line for Derek Carr and just help him out. Give him some time so him and Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow and all his weapons can get to work. In the 4th round, 122 or the 122nd overall, the Raiders selected Zamir White, running back out of Georgia. Head over. I think he is going to be a guy that, especially, we saw Josh Jacobs, we saw what was it, Kenyon Drake or whoever that was, really stepped up for the Raiders last year. There was a lot for the Raiders that looked really good. I think, honestly, this could be a situation where if Josh Jacobs does have any time or does see any significant amount of time out, we could see Zamir White come in right away and do a lot of great things for the Raiders. I do think you're going to see more of his impact down the line, but especially since this is the final year of Josh Jacobs' contract. But I believe that Zamir White will have at least 500 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. I think once they get him in there, he's going to be hard to stop. I'm really excited for the former Bulldog. Still 4 picks later in the 4th round, the Raiders selected Farrell Jr. I think I spelled his name wrong. I think it's 1 L for Neil. But anyway, defensive tackle coming out of LSU. I think he's going to be a guy that might not have a ton of sacks, but I do think that he's going to be a guy that when he does get in there and get some snaps, he's going to take up some double teams, whether it's in the 3-4 front or the 4-3. Take up some double teams, really have his presence shown as a run defender. I think that he's going to get in there, and the Raiders' run defense is not going to look back. Kind of the similar story here for Matthew Butler, a 5th round. 175th overall defensive tackle selection out of Tennessee. It took me like 3 attempts to spell Tennessee, and I don't know if I even got that right. But the thing with Butler is I don't think he's going to see a ton of time, unfortunately. But I think in that very limited amount of time, we're going to see a lot of production like Malcolm Kuntz, who had he played 17 snaps and had 2 sacks. It was crazy. I know I'm exaggerating, but the point is Matthew Butler, I think, could be a guy that comes in, doesn't get a lot of snaps, but does find a way to give the Raiders that interior pass rush they've been so needing. That's one of my biggest things they've definitely needed for a long time. And I do expect Matthew Butler to, in his limited amount of time, to be a serious threat in that interior pass rush. In the 7th round, number 238th overall, the Raiders selected tackle Thayer Munford, or guard, whatever, out of Ohio State. He's going to be a solid backup. I do expect him to be a potential starter down the line, or think he could be a potential starter down the line. There's just a lot to work with, whether it's at guard, whether after Denzel Good and all those boys are gone. I mean, he could be one of those guys that steps in right away, or does find a way his way onto the active roster. And vying for a starting spot, if not a backup spot. I'm really excited about the former Buckeyes' future in the NFL. Still in the 7th round, number 250th overall, the Raiders selected running back Britton Brown out of UCLA. Again, depending on what happens with guys like Josh Jacobs and everybody else, I do think that Britton Brown probably will start out on the practice squad, or he might get cut altogether, picked up by another team. But I do think he could see action as the Raiders get later into the season. I mean, it's a long season, especially with the Raiders going to playoffs, maybe. I do think that you could see Britton Brown see a little bit of action. Now, is it going to be a lot? Probably not. Josh Jacobs, Zamir White, Kenyon Drake. I believe, is it Amir Abdullah that's all I have him as well? I can't remember. But there's a lot. There's a lot of running backs ahead of him. But all it takes is one game. We saw it with Ramondre Stevenson last year. Why does that name ring a bell? Oh, yeah, because the current Raiders staff drafted Ramondre Stevenson for the New England Patriots, and they know how to find running backs in this in that organization, and they brought that over here. So Britton Brown might not see a lot of time to begin with, but once he does, I do think he is going to be a difference maker for the Raiders down the line. But that's it. That is our expectations for the Las Vegas Raiders 2022 NFL Draft Class. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment it. It helps people find the show. Greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Let's see where we go with this. Oh, yeah. In the description down below, you find all of our social media platforms. Make sure you guys give us a like and a follow. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put in the comment section down below and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think of our expectations for the Las Vegas Raiders 2022 NFL draft class.